Previously on Top 20 NetNavis...
My hair is on fire! My hair is on fire! My hair is on fire!
And now...
Kicking off Part 2, we have the ever-reliable GutsMan. Much like Fireman, he doesn't have the most challenging battles, but his design, which definitely makes him look like a powerhouse, his personality, and his overall memorability more than makes up for it.
Throughout most of the series, GutsMan and his operator Dex share a friendly rivalry with Lan and MegaMan. In fact, he's the first Navi you have the chance to fight. Granted, these fights are very easy. Befitting his stature, GutsMan favors sheer brute force over speed or strategy.
His attacks mainly consist of shockwaves, panel-cracking attacks, and punching you with his gigantic fist. Also, in later games, he can use a rocket punch which can knock you back, and he can use this multiple times in a pinch. Powerful, yet still very easy to avoid.
However, like we said earlier, it isn't his boss fights that put him this high. For one thing, his design looks a lot more fitting than his classic series counterpart. But the biggest reason he's in the top 10 is for his personality and his role as a friend and rival to MegaMan.
GutsMan and Dex have enjoyed plenty of fun net battles with Lan and MegaMan over the years, but at the same time, they've been there for their friends when the chips are down. Perhaps the best example of this happens in MegaMan Battle Network 3, when MegaMan gets ambushed by 3 undernet ranking Navis at once. Things look bleak until GutsMan shows just how much of a friend he is by deleting all 3 assailants at once.
Both GutsMan and Dex also have a strong sense of fair play. In Battle Network 4 Red Sun, for example, Dex's little brother Tisao, who looks up to him, fakes his own kidnapping, hoping to get Lan disqualified from the tournament so that Dex can win by default. Dex, however, refuses to accept such a victory, and delays the match just long enough for Lan to return with Tisao in tow, so that the rivals can battle fair and square.
It's also in this scenario where Lan and MegaMan receive Guts Soul, which can be activated by sacrificing a breaking chip. Despite the fact that its charge shot has an embarrassingly short range, it makes up for it by giving MegaMan a machine gun by rapidly tapping the B button. And, more importantly, giving plus 30 to non-elemental attack chips, which really adds up with multi-hit chips such as the Vulcans.
In the end, GutsMan may be easy as a boss, but as a character, he's a net Navi to be loved and respected. And at least we don't have to worry about his butt.
While the bulk of Navis are based on characters from the classic series, other branches of the Mega Man mythos have been represented as well. Yai's Navi Glide came from Mega Man Legends, and 2 Navis actually came from the X series.
Zero from Network Transmission is... oh god, what did they do to him? On the other hand, there's Colonel. Now this is a Navi that commands respect, both from his appearance and his personality.
The first thing we like about Colonel is his design. Based on his counterpart in X4, his design evokes a real sense of authority. Second, his abilities in battle. He truly fights like a military commander. Not only is he an ace with his sword, as shown by his signature screen divide, but he can also possess a cannon that blows you backwards, a shower of missiles, and even a miniature army concealed inside rock cubes. And then, there's this most devastating attack where he tries to stun you with his cape so that he can attack you with his blade.
However, Colonel not only stands out as a boss, but as a character. In Battle Network 5, Colonel, along with his operator Beryl, play a role parallel to Chud and Proto Man in their respective version. Leading his team's efforts against Nebula, Colonel and Beryl conduct themselves as respectful commanders, managing to keep a level head throughout the toughest of situations.
In Battle Network 6, Colonel returns, only this time he's actually leading the revived World 3, and his personality has drastically changed. He now cares only about doing his job and will delete any Navi in his path. That is until Lan and MegaMan defeat him and he and Beryl have a change of heart and decide to help out the heroes face Lord Wily. Which is where we learn the duo's backstory.
As it turns out, Beryl was raised by Wily after his father went off to war. Wily actually created Colonel to be the perfect Navi, possessing incredible strength and intellect, as well as kindness and the ability to control weapons. However, when Beryl's birth father died in combat, Wily's hatred of Net Society resurfaced, and he stripped Colonel of his kindness and weapons control program, thus creating Iris.
However, in the final battle with the Psy Beasts, Colonel and Iris are the ones who ultimately save the day. After they defeat one of the Psy Beasts, they find that the other is trying to take over Mega Man once again. Merging together, they sacrifice themselves in order to save Mega Man and end the threat of the Psy Beasts for good. So, in the end, even though Colonel lived long enough to see himself become a villain, he ultimately dies a hero anyway. Colonel, we salute you. We all know how cool assassins are in video games. Trust me, I've done an entire list of those. However, there is one Navi I was actually considering for that list. That would be DarkMan from Battle Network 3. DarkMan appears in the secret area after you collect over 140 standard battle chips, and just looking at this guy tells you that he is out for your zeros and ones.
His design really fits his persona, with his horned cape and ominous visor. But what really strikes us about this guy is how efficient he is as an assassin. When he first appears to MegaMan, DarkMan refers to him as number 9634. In other words, he has deleted 9,633 Navis up to this point.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?!
I should have known that was coming. Anyway, what's more frightening is his motivation. He's been challenged by the Underking to defeat 10,000 Navis in a row before he'll fight DarkMan personally. And believe me, he's earned every single one of those kills.
During the fight with DarkMan, he'll switch between elements, alternating fire, water, and electricity every time he moves. In fire mode, he'll use flame pillars. In water mode, he'll fire ice crystals, and in electric mode, he'll zap you with a thunder beam.
Oh, but there's more. DarkMan can also open holes in the cyber-dimensional fabric to summon bats to attack you, and he'll even summon an axe of dark energy to attack you independently when he's low on health. The variety of attacks this Navi possesses is truly staggering, and makes for an extremely challenging fight.
Another thing we like about DarkMan is the sheer sense of fear he gives off, not only from his design, but from his reputation. Even MegaMan himself recognizes how powerful he is. Trust us, we'd be shaking in our air shoes at the sight of this guy. We're just glad he doesn't have us in his crosshairs. And to think, in his death throes, he claims the Underking is even stronger.
Funny you should mention that. A major element in Battle Network 3's plot was the internet ranking. In order to obtain the program capable of stopping Alpha, MegaMan had to rise up the ranks like Travis Touchdown, ultimately reaching rank 2 before receiving the program from the Underking, who is also referred to as S until this point.
However, after defeating the previously mentioned DarkMan, as well as Japan Man, and completing some other tasks in the post-game, MegaMan finally gets to face off with rank 1. Ooh, if he's this powerful, I'll bet he looks like a Navi version of Sigma, totally imposing or tough-looking or... Wait... That's the Underking?
This is definitely not what we were expecting from Serenade. All this time, rank 1 was built up as a super powerful being. So we were surprised to see something akin to a genie standing before us. And what's more, he's like a...
Actually, Oscar, Serenade's been referred to as either a male or a female depending on the source. In fact, this Navi was meant to appear as a divine being which transcends gender.
Right. Anyway, Serenade tells MegaMan that the source of its power is mercy, and Serenade wins by respecting its opponents. And what that means is that Serenade doesn't hold back at all.
You absolutely cannot afford to be reckless when you face Serenade. For one thing, it can reflect any attack which doesn't cause steady damage as long as it can move up or down, meaning your best chance is restricting its movement. Serenade will also send sparks oscillating across the field, forcing you to stay on the move.
The only other time that Serenade can be hit is when it uses an attack that can crack some of your panels and push you backwards. Even then, this Navi is tough to hit. This is a challenging battle that really requires strategy and patience. And after you've defeated Serenade, you'll learn something interesting about this Navi. As it turns out, Serenade once fought a certain Navi, ultimately prevailing after a battle that lasted for days.
In the end, Serenade may not look like much, but this Navi's backstory, personality, and challenging battle really give us reason to respect him. Ow, my head hurts!
Now you know how I feel.
Cutman may have been cute, but think about who he was serving under. That's right, it's Shadow Man. Some of the previous Navis improve on their classic series counterparts, and Shadow Man is one of the best examples. First, his design. He may have been a ninja in MegaMan 3, but his Battle Network incarnation makes his original counterpart look like an apprentice in comparison.
Also, while he did appear as a post-game boss in the first game, it's his subsequent roles that really make him stand out. Shadow Man and his operator, Dark Miyabi, are mercenaries whose skills are for sale, but not their loyalty. In Battle Network 2, the assassins are hired by the Gospel Net Mafia to destroy Yumland, an operation which completely succeeds. Their next target is Electopia. However, through the combined efforts of MegaMan and Proto-Man, the deadly NetNavis is stopped.
Shadow Man doesn't resurface again until Battle Network 5, when he joins Team Colonel. But not before giving Mega Man some serious runaround and yet another battle. Oh right, his battle style. Honestly, Shadow Man's ninja skills are so top-notch that they rank among some of the best ninjas in gaming.
Shadow Man's attacks include creating shadow clones that mimic his attacks and absorb damage, explosions that travel down the row, and substitution jutsus followed by a shuriken throw, and a sneak attack on your side of the field. His most dangerous attack in Battle Network 2, however, is his Muramasa Blade, which can deal the same amount of damage he's taken. You really feel like you're fighting a seasoned master of stealth and trickery.
Shadow Man's ninja skills also come in handy during liberation missions. Being able to walk over dark panels without any trouble, as well as the ability to deal damage to enemies on the field directly, really comes in handy. And if you want to harness this power for yourself, boom, Shadow Soul. By sacrificing a stealth chip, you gain immunity from harmful panel effects, a substitution jutsu, and a longsword charge shot, as well as being able to move faster.
When it comes down to it, Shadow Man is definitely well deserving of a spot this high on our list. Eat your heart out, Naruto.
Well, this countdown is turning out to be a lot longer than we expected, but no worries guys. Stick around on the Quarter Guys channel for part 3 of the top 20 Mega Man Battle Network NetNavis. See you guys then!